I'm Susan, 72 years old, a retired schoolteacher, a grandmother of 3, and a woman who has spent her entire life believing that quiet dignity is stronger than loud cruelty. But I will start this story from the moment everything changed, the moment my own daughter-in-law publicly called me a family embarrassment at her wedding. I remember the way the words sliced through me, not like a knife, but like ice. Cold. Slow. Paralyzing. Everyone heard it. Everyone stared. And she said it while smiling. But what she didn't know was that her father, whom she barely knew, had been looking for me for over 3 decades. And what happened when he recognized me didn't just turn the wedding upside down. It flipped the entire power dynamic of our family and gave me the sweetest, most unexpected revenge an old woman could ever receive. So sit with me. Let me tell you exactly how it happened. The wedding hall was decorated like something out of a royal movie, golden arches, white orchids, shimmering chandeliers. My son, Ethan, looked proud, nervous, and painfully handsome in his suit. I raised that boy alone after his father died, working 3 jobs at times, skipping meals so he could eat, stitching old clothes to look new. I never asked for anything. Not even gratitude. But his new wife, Camila, had a different idea of family. She came from money, a kind of money that looks down instead of forward. Her mother was the walking definition of pretentious. And though her father was wealthy too, he was estranged and rarely involved. When I reached the reception entrance, holding the small bouquet Ethan had left for me on a chair, I already felt the eyes. I wasn't wearing designer clothes. I wasn't dripping jewelry. I was just me. A 72-year-old widow in a simple lavender dress. And then it happened. Her voice, too sugary, too loud, dripped venom disguised as etiquette. You can't walk in yet, Susan. We're still taking family pictures. I smiled politely. I'm family, dear. She leaned closer, whispering loudly enough for the bridesmaids, groomsmen, waiters, and God himself to hear. You're not the kind of family we want in the pictures. You're, well, a family embarrassment. The laughter that followed wasn't loud. But it was cruel. And it echoed. My son's face fell. He looked like he wanted to intervene, but her mother gripped his arm like a claw. He froze. People whispered. Some pitied me. Most pretended not to see anything at all. I wanted to leave. But life, fate, destiny, karma, whatever you want to call it, had a different plan. Because at that exact moment, a man behind me gasped, Susan? He breathed, Susan Carter. From Greenfield High School? I turned. And there he was. I hadn't seen Daniel Alvarez in 48 years. But I would have recognized him anywhere, the sharp eyes, the gentle smile, the dignified stance. He used to be a quiet, brilliant student in my English classroom. A shy kid with a stutter. A boy who sat alone during lunch breaks and found solace in books. And I, the young teacher fresh out of college, was the first adult to ever tell him he was more than enough. He became valedictorian. Got a scholarship. Built a company. And somewhere along the way, life drifted us apart. But now, here he was. Standing at the wedding. Dressed like success. Watching Camila, the bride, like she was a stranger. And then it clicked. He wasn't just a guest. He was the father of the bride. The same father she never mentioned. The same father she claimed had no influence on her life. And the same father she didn't invite to the rehearsal dinner. I could see the shock in his eyes, but it quickly melted into something else. Warmth. Recognition. A kind of reverence you never expect from adults who were once children in your classroom. You taught me everything, he said softly. You changed my life. That I swallowed hard, tears threatening. Daniel. Look at you. I'm so proud that he took my hands, gently, respectfully, like greeting royalty. Why are you standing out here alone? He asked. I hesitated. But before I could speak, Camila barked, Dad. What are you doing talking to her? We're waiting. The way she said her, like I was filth, ignited something fierce in Daniel's eyes. He frowned at his daughter, deeply, sharply, like seeing her truly for the first time. Camila, he said in a low tone, do you know who this woman is? She laughed coldly, and nobody. That's when Daniel straightened his back, turned to the entire hall, and said loud enough for every whisper to stop. She is the reason you have a father worth inviting. The room fell silent. Dead silent. And then the storm began. Daniel walked to the center of the hall and asked for the microphone. Even the DJ went pale. Camila's mother hissed, Daniel, don't you dare cause a scene. He ignored her. He lifted the microphone and spoke with a trembling voice that somehow carried more power than anger. I know many of you don't know me. I haven't always been present in my daughter's life. That was my mistake. But the reason I survived my childhood, the reason I built a life, a career, a legacy, is because of one woman that he pointed at me, that woman. Mrs. Susan Carter. My teacher. My mentor. My lifeline during the hardest years of my life. Gasps spread across the room. But he wasn't finished. When I was a boy, I had no friends. No confidence. No future. Mrs. Carter stayed after school with me every single day for 2 years. She helped me overcome my stutter. She convinced me that I mattered. She made me believe I could do something great. Whispers grew louder now, sympathetic, curious, stunned. And to hear my own daughter call her a family embarrassment. He exhaled deeply. That is the greatest shame of my life. Camila's face turned white. Her mother tried to pull her aside, but Daniel raised a hand. No. She needs to hear this. Then he turned back to me. And what he said next broke every last piece of my heart. I have been searching for you for years. I wanted you at my success dinners, my award ceremonies, my board celebrations. I wanted to thank you. Properly. But you moved, and I lost track. My voice cracked. Oh, Daniel, but finding you here, being insulted like this? His eyes hardened. That will not stand. The microphone was in his hand, but control of the room was fully in mine. Daniel walked toward me again, bowed his head slightly, and said, may I ask you to join me at the family table? You belong at the very front. Camila sputtered, Dad. This is my wedding, correct? He replied sharply. And that means I get to decide who sits with me. Her mother snapped. How dare you prioritize some old teacher over your own? Daniel glared at her with such authority that she shrank like a scolded child. Mrs. Carter is the most honorable person in this room, he said firmly, and if anyone here disagrees, they can leave. And people listened. Because Daniel wasn't just the father of the bride, he was Daniel Alvarez, founder of one of the biggest tech companies in the city. His presence carried weight. He escorted me, arm in arm, to the VIP table. Waiters rushed to pull my chair. Guests murmured, some in admiration, others in shame. But the best part? My son followed us. Quietly. Without being told. He placed his hand over mine. Mom, he whispered, I'm so sorry. I should have defended you earlier. That I squeezed his hand. It's okay, Ethan. You're doing it now, but the night. Oh, the night was far from over. As dinner began, Camila finally snapped under the humiliation. She marched to our table, slammed her bouquet down, and shouted, are you all insane? This is my wedding. I won't have everything ruined because some retired schoolteacher. Daniel stood up so fast the table shook. Finish that sentence, he warned. She swallowed. People stared. Phones recorded. Whispers spread like wildfire. This isn't fair. She wailed. You've never done anything for me and now you're ruining everything. Daniel's voice went deadly calm. I didn't raise you, Camila. But I see now that maybe if I had, you would know the meaning of respect. Her mother tried to intervene again. This is ridiculous, Daniel. One woman shouldn't. One woman made me who I am, he said sharply, and I will not allow my daughter to treat her like trash. Camila burst into tears, but no one comforted her, not even her bridesmaids. And then came the final blow. Daniel turned to the staff and said, Move Mrs. Carter's name card next to mine, the coordinator rushed to obey. And remove Camilla's mother's seat from this table, he added calmly. She can sit with the guests. A ripple of shock moved through the hall. Camilla's mother screeched, Daniel. You wouldn't dare, I just did, he said coldly. People clapped. Yes, they clapped. And for the first time in my life, I saw the power of kindness coming back tenfold. After things settled, Daniel leaned close to me. Mrs. Carter, he said softly, I never got to tell you everything you did for me. Saved my life. Literally. He swallowed. My father was abusive. I never told anyone. But you noticed the bruises. The fear. And without prying, without embarrassing me, you reported it. You got me help. You got me out. My breath caught. I never knew what happened after, I whispered. He nodded. I was put into a safe foster home. I got therapy. I healed. Because of you. I wiped a tear from my cheek. Oh, Daniel. You were just a child. I did what anyone would do. No, he said firmly. Not anyone. Just you. He took my hand again. I want you to be part of my life. Again. Properly this time. Allow me to honor you, then he added, almost shyly, would you let me support you? Anything you need. Medical bills. Home care. Travel. You've given enough to the world. Let someone give back. My heart trembled. Oh, Daniel. I don't expect. He shook his head. It's not charity. It's gratitude. My son listened silently, eyes glistening with pride. The wedding limped on, but the spotlight had shifted entirely. People approached me one by one. Former students. Parents. Guests who admired the story. I became the unexpected center of respect. Meanwhile, Camilla sulked through the evening, humiliated but quiet. But the true twist came at the end. Daniel stood again and announced. I would like to dedicate a dance to the woman who defined my life. Gasps. Whispers. Cameras. He extended his hand toward me. Not toward the bride. Not toward the groom. Toward me, the family embarrassment. The band began playing a soft tune. And as I walked to the dance floor, people stood. Chair after chair. Row after row. Until the entire hall gave a standing ovation. I danced slowly, gracefully. In the arms of a man I once guided through childhood darkness. And for the first time in decades I felt truly seen. But the real revenge, it came quietly, almost elegantly, at the very end. As the guests prepared to leave, I overheard Camilla hissing at her father. Why would you choose her over me? Daniel replied with chilling calm. Because she earned respect. And you earned the consequences. Then he walked away from her, straight toward me. So here I am, telling you this story in my own words, not because of the insult that started it, but because of the justice that followed. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't retaliate. I didn't need to. Life handled it for me. At 72, I learned something surprising. Revenge doesn't always come with anger. Sometimes, it comes with truth. Sometimes, with recognition. And sometimes, it walks toward you in a wedding hall and says, thank you for saving my life. Camilla's insult didn't break me. It revealed her. It resurrected Daniel's gratitude. And it restored my dignity in ways I never expected. In the end, I didn't lose anything. I gained a son in spirit. I gained respect. I gained peace. And that is the sweetest revenge